Greetings and gratitude to all my family, friends, and viewers. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Akila. In today's video, I will be elaborating on a previous video where I was going over the 5 things someone who's never been to Africa needs to know prior to planning their very first trip to Africa. Now, I'll link that video in the description box below. So the plan is to take each one of these tips, make a separate video elaborating and going more into depth about exactly what I mean. So in today's video, I'll be going over the very first tip, which is to really understand what it means to travel abroad to a developing nation. The intention is to demystify the process, right? Peel back the layers of miseducation about Africa, because what I realized over the years in my travels is that very first trip to Africa for, let's say, the African in America is a very different experience than a very first trip to Africa for Asian or European. You know, for us, because of the transatlantic slave trade and the trauma related to Africa, that very first trip to Africa is like a pilgrimage. Somewhat like a full circle spiritual connection for a lot of us. And so I just believe that it's a very unique situation that needs to be planned as such. Your very first trip to Africa needs to be planned a year in advance. And so if you're ready for a crash course in Traveling Abroad 101, stay tuned right after this. Greetings and gratitude to all my family, friends, and viewers. Welcome to my African-centered travel vlog. My name is Israya, but I'm also known as Akila for those who don't know me. If you have any questions about taking a trip to Africa, investment in Africa, and or maybe even relocating to the continent of Africa, stay tuned as I take you along my repatriation journey. Come, join the movement to reverse the brain drain of Africa. B.R.U.S.E mission is an expression of my life's work to build, repatriate, uplift, serve, and empower. For more details, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for my latest uploads. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so welcome back, guys. Let's get right into what it means to travel abroad to an underdeveloped nation. So Africa is a continent, and the continent of Africa has about 54 countries that are recognized by the United Nations. And all 54 of these countries have like a capital city that is that hustling, bustling city life that you may be used to coming from America or Europe. However, the more you travel across Africa, coming away from those capital cities, you'll find that Africa is mostly raw, virgin, underdeveloped land the way God made it. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what does that mean for you as a traveler? So there are about 3 common things that you'll see traveling across an African country. And number 1 would be frequent blackouts. So because Africa's power grid is underdeveloped, much of Africa suffers from frequent blackouts. So you as a first-time traveler, that can be a bit of a power shock. That can be a bit of a culture shock to go without power for several hours or so, right? And so what I find in my travels is that something as simple as a battery pack. Amazon sells these like portable battery packs that hold about 2 to 4 hours of power. And they really come in handy for those of us that are overly attached to our cell phones, you know? And so in case of an emergency, battery banks are a very good thing to have. Okay, so the second most common thing that you'll see traveling across Africa will be a lack of clean running water. And all African countries are not created equal, so the more less developed the country is, the more you'll see of these type of challenges. And in order to get clean water, you have to break into the ground and create a borehole or a well to be able to get clean water. Now, to get that water flowing is a whole nother process. And so if you don't have that underground plumbing that'll filter and flow, You might find yourself in these rural areas having to fetch water from a well or a reserve to get clean water to bathe with. Now, for some people, this may be an issue. Some of us are a little bougie. Hey, I have my bougie ways too, so I get it. In those instances, if you're really bothered by the idea of having to bathe in the bucket, Amazon sells these portable showers that you can use. Most people use them for like camping, and they're like a 5 or 10 pound bag that you can fill with water. They're solar powered, so the sun hits them, warms the water. It has like a little spout you can use to rinse yourself off and take an outside shower if necessary. Another third common thing that you'll see across Africa is a lack of indoor plumbing. Amazon also sells I think it's called like a traveling portable toilet or something like that. And so it's literally like a bag. If you need to do number two, or you're a woman on your menses and need to take care of your business, if you're in a place where there's no indoor plumbing, it's a great thing to have. Now, with traveling abroad, you really have to pack like your suitcase is your lifeline, because it is. So as you leave these capital cities, traveling across Africa and to more of the rural areas, you'll find that things are just not easily accessible as they are closer to the hustle and bustle of everything. And so there are certain things that you must have in your suitcase. You just need to pack well and be prepared, right? So I'm gonna give you a few tips of must-haves, and also put some things on your mind that you might not be considering as you plan your first trip to Africa. And so we already went over a battery pack. To me, that is a must-have. Now, the shower and the portable toilet, those are things that, maybe just individual preferences. Another must-have is what they call a universal travel adapter. It's for the wall sockets, because if you plan on bringing laptops and cameras and things of that nature, you'll find that our prongs that fit into the wall won't fit, because much of Africa is built like their outlets are built in like a European style. And so you'll need this adapter in order to be able to charge your equipment. Amazon sells this adapter as well. Another good must-have thing is an unlocked cell phone. When you get to the African country, you will need an unlocked cell phone to be able to communicate with your family and friends and upload your pictures and things of that nature. Africa is on a whole different system as far as the internet, and so you need an unlocked phone to be able to buy internet data that you add to your phone. And so if you leave your mother country without an unlocked phone, you won't have communication unless you use the airport's free Wi-Fi for guests, and you have an application like WhatsApp. WHATSAPP. It's an application that you can download to your phone that allow you to have unlimited text, talk, video chat, long distance. And that way you can communicate with your loved ones by connecting to the free Wi-Fi at the airport. However, if you don't have that, T-Mobile, I think, is really the only carrier that has services on the continent, and Ghana is one of those countries that they service. And so if you call T-Mobile and let them know that you're traveling the African continent, they'll ask you what country you're going to, and if they provide services, then you can use that carrier. Otherwise, you will need a unlocked phone to communicate on the African continent. Now, you can also buy that unlocked phone on the African continent, and it'll be much cheaper. Just remember, there might be some times within your travels until you get there, you will be without communication, right? And so another thing to remember is if you plan on using credit cards and debit cards and things of that nature on the continent, you need to call your bank and make sure that you'll be able to do that. Some banks have restrictions. And so the last thing you want to do is get to an African country and they lock your card up and you don't have any money because you failed to call them and let them know you were traveling out of the country. And it is not an easy process to be able to prove who you are once you've already left the country. Trust me, I know. And so I think that will conclude today's video. I hope that you are better prepared for your very first trip to Africa. And if you feel like you've got some valuable information today, please like, please share, please comment below, and please subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. And remember, Black love is Black power.